Right now, a vicious attack on a bodega worker, the suspect using broken bottles to slash him. Why police need your help to solve the crime. Plus, some controversial subway tiles are getting the boot. Why these tiles were causing outrage underground. And the truth behind The Lion King. The film's director reveals a long-kept secret about the film's main characters. The Pix 11 News at 10 starts right now.
Live from Studio 2A in Pix Plaza, this is the Pix 11 News at 10 with Kaidi Tong.
It was a close call for a one-year-old in a stroller tonight in Brownsville. That baby boy hit by a stray bullet that was intended for somebody else. Good evening, I'm Kirsten Cole. Kaidi has the night off. Welcome to the Pix 11 News at 10. Pix 11's McGee Hickey now live outside the 73rd Precinct Station House, where the hunt is on for the gunman. McGee.
Good evening to you, Kirsten. Yes, such a close call for that one-year-old baby boy in a stroller being pushed by his mother with his grandmother nearby. He took a bullet, a stray bullet, to his knee. The mother and the grandmother then rushed to the nearby the police service area, where then the little baby boy was rushed to Kings County Hospital. He is said to be doing fine tonight. That shooting happened just after 5 p.m. on Sutter Avenue near Van Sinderen Avenue and Junia Street in Brownsville, right by the L train subway stop. Besides the graze wound to the knee of that baby boy, police say a 20-year-old man was also shot in the right thigh. Police believe he was the intended target, and neighbors on this block say the shootings have got to stop.
You got to be more careful with these kids today. And I don't understand why, if people is doing these with these guns, they need to put the guns away.
Stuff like this happens all the time, and they did it when the train moved, so they want to hear the gunshot, and this is just a terrible tragedy. My apologies. I'm so sorry.
We live around here. Every day we commute. You know, it could happen to me. It could happen to anybody. You get scared, because you don't know what's going to happen, or, the things that are going on nowadays. It's just crazy.
Now, police describe the gunman they're looking for, a man in his 20s, 5'9", slim build, long hair, and black clothes. We are outside the 73rd Precinct Station House in Brownsville, Brooklyn. McGee Hickey, Pix 11 News. Back to you, Kirsten.
McGee, thankfully, that baby okay. In Queens now, a man drove away from police in the middle of a traffic stop, but in the process, he dragged an officer with him. Police say the officer was dragged more than 150 feet. Miraculously, the officer is just okay with a few cuts and scrapes and bruises. Police found the car in Springfield Gardens, but are still looking for the driver who fled the scene. Meanwhile, in other news, a second police officer in Florida has died from injuries suffered in a shooting Friday night. Sergeant Richard Howard succumbed to his wounds earlier today. His partner, Officer Matthew Baxter, died at the scene of the shooting last night. The two men responding to a call about suspicious activity near an intersection in Kissimmee. Within minutes, a gun battle erupted. One suspect has been charged with first-degree murder. This was just one of several shootings across the country targeting officers overnight. 2 officers in Jacksonville and 2 state troopers in Pennsylvania were shot while responding to a call. They're expected to recover. And this was seen from overhead at today's free speech rally in Boston. The event expected to draw crowds of white supremacist groups and an estimated 30,000 to 40,000 counter-protesters. They showed up to drown out the planned demonstration after the ugly and deadly displays of racism and violence last week in Charlottesville. Boston cops were prepared for the worst. Rob Hoyle has more.
Huge crowds turned out in Boston, but unlike Charlottesville, the majority of demonstrators came to protest racism and hate. Counter-protesters in the thousands far outnumbered what was supposed to be a Unite the Right rally, and protesters made no bones about how they feel about white supremacists. There were no large displays of Confederate or Nazi flags, and for the most part it was peaceful. This demonstrator, a Trump supporter, found himself surrounded by counter-protesters in a tense exchange of words.
You apologize for being for supporting racism.
That's the great thing about America, man.
Yeah, you can support racism. And I can say what I want too.
Isn't that the great thing about America?
Trump.
Okay.
Yeah.
There was a huge police presence in downtown Boston as the mayor and PD did not want a repeat of Charlottesville. There are a few tense scenes like this one caught by helicopter as police push back demonstrators, and in a few hectic moments, a handful of people could be seen being placed under arrest. So-called white nationalist rallies that were supposed to be held in other parts of the country today also seemed to fizzle out, with counter-protesters showing up in droves. In Texas, it was music, harmony, and equality that brought people together.
On the other side, it didn't say no.
And music and solidarity in Boston marched on.
Rob Hoyle, Pix 11 News.
And international news now. A manhunt still underway in Spain tonight for suspects in the deadly Barcelona terror attacks. At least 14 people were killed, dozens of others injured on Thursday when a group of terrorists drove a van into a crowd of people in the bustling tourist area of Las Ramblas. Spanish officials announced today that the group behind the attack has been dismantled, but authorities say their work isn't done until all 12 suspected members of the group are in custody. Spanish police still searching for a key suspect in both the Barcelona tragedy as well as a second attack just west of the city. Meanwhile, authorities in Finland are investigating a knife attack that killed 2 people and injured 8, happening yesterday in the city of Turku. Police are saying it's too soon to know if the stabbings were terror-related. An 18-year-old male suspect was shot at the scene and is now in police custody. 4 others also arrested today in connection with that attack. Counterterrorism experts say the tragedy unfortunately comes as no surprise as the nation's Security Bureau recently released a report warning against terrorist activity in Finland. The president is now thanking Steve Bannon just days after firing him as his chief strategist. Bannon is the 6th senior official in 7 months to leave the Trump administration. This morning, Trump took to Twitter to officially thank Bannon for his service in the White House and during the campaign. The former chief strategist is heading back to run the right-wing news website Breitbart. Just yesterday, Bannon told the Weekly Standard that the Trump presidency he fought for is over. President Trump is skipping the Kennedy Center honors this year. The White House releasing a statement this morning saying that the president and first lady will not participate this year in order to allow honorees to celebrate without distractions. 3 of this year's honorees have already announced their decision not to attend the White House reception that goes along with this event. The Kennedy Center honors take place in December. So it was crazy hot and humid all day today. Seems to be cooling off just a little bit tonight. But what do we have on tap for tomorrow, Joe Chaffee? More of the same?
Wash, rinse, repeat.
Woohoo!
Yeah, and we are going to see temperatures headed up again. Right now, very warm up. Kirsten.
I've got some special requests for you, Joe. We'll talk about those, all right?
Oh, okay.
Still to come on the Pix 11 News at 10. The crossroads of the world or a Confederate flag? The MTA reveals the truth behind this subway symbol. And a Delhi attack caught on camera. A man held down and stabbed with broken bottles while police are looking for your help in order to find the suspects behind this.
Pix 11 News, sponsored by Spectrum. Join America's fastest growing TV, internet, and voice provider.
911, what is the address of your emergency?
I have a drunk woman with 2 kids in the back seat.
Chilling video here. Newly released dash cam stuff showing the arrest of a woman in West Palm Beach, Florida, caught driving erratically, 2 kids in the car, including a toddler. And it was an attentive tow truck driver who called the whole thing in, said he called police when he saw the woman weaving in and out of traffic. The woman failed a sobriety test. She was arrested facing DUI and child abuse charges. So we told you this week about the outrage over a Confederate flag seen hanging in the window of an East Village apartment. Today, police arrested a man who took matters literally into his own hands after he bragged about punching out the window on social media. Earlier this week, people threw rocks at that same building. It led to the NYPD to set up a post outside, but that did not stop Darren Keene, who cops say vandalized the place last night. The 34-year-old then went home and started posting pictures of his bloodied hand on Instagram. Keene was charged with criminal mischief, given a ticket, and released. The flag, which witnesses say hung in the window for more than a year, finally taken down earlier today. And the MTA is replacing subway tiles that look an awful lot like Confederate flags. The tiles have been there for decades, but with a nationwide movement to remove symbols of the Confederacy, the city has decided these tiles, too, gotta go. Tiles can be found at 40th Street entrance to the Times Square subway stop. An MTA spokesman says, just to be clear, these tiles are not Confederate flags. The red, white, and blue tiles were based on geometric forms that are meant to represent the crossroads of the world, which, of course, that subway station sits underneath. So it's not the ride that's causing controversy at the brand new bus terminal in Washington Heights. The building is also supposed to be home to new businesses and community space, but it's not finished. And now neighbors are demanding job applications. Greg Mocker checks on the prospects.
Coming from the subway, from the bus, I am exiting a transit facility because this story is not about the service or what happens inside. You can get a ride around the George Washington bus terminal. It finally opened in May, but neighbors want to get jobs.
Actually, I have my own experience as a custodian.
They say they're trying to get applications, but take a look around. This is what it looks like now, which is basically the same as it looked when the Port Authority walked us around during the opening in May.
We were shut down for many years in this area. We cannot take the train. And now the promise was that we will get jobs when this place will be open.
On the corner of 179th Street in Fort Washington, employing the local community is the message being sent loud and clearly.
They want jobs that's back into the community. They want community representation for the business that open up in this area, and we want to be able to keep the same community representation.
The community been very patient for many years. This bus terminal was closed.
Representatives from the developer and the Port Authority have previously been meeting with and working with neighbors, leaders, and businesses. Construction issues have kept the project running about 2 years behind schedule. Greg Mocker, Pix 11 News.
Hopefully that all changes. So we had a lot of leftover humidity after those thunderstorms rolled through yesterday, sort of drenching us today. What are we going to get for Sunday? Joe Chaffee here with a look at your forecast. Hey, Joe.
Well, if you like today, and some people like the heat and humidity. And yes, you've made that clear. Coming up, Kirsten.
Thanks a lot, Joe. So there's a lot more ahead tonight. Taylor Swift fans reeling after the pop star scrubbed all of her social media accounts bare. What the music industry experts say just might be behind this move, and a long-kept secret about the truth behind Disney's The Lion King, why this new information may just change everything about the story. And hey, birthday girl is here with sports. Andy Adler, happy birthday.
Thank you so much, Kirsten. And, you know, we've got a lot to talk about. Coming up, Yankees taking on Boston. And right before the game, Joe Girardi making some moves. Let's talk about it. Plus, Mets playing the Marlins right here on Pix 11. We've got your highlights. And Jets with some preseason action. Sports is coming up. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I think Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Welcome back to the Pix 11 News at 10. Annabelle Creation is now in theaters. And if you're a fan or you've seen the previews, you know that doll is up to no good. OG isn't a fan of scary movies, but she braved her way through it before she sat down for an interview with the cast.
She's back. The doll. The devil. Annabelle.
Your characters kind of sort of are responsible for this.
Anthony's playing the doll maker and his wife. They've created this doll. They lose their daughter.
He's created this doll to fill a void, and then they make a little deal with the devil, kind of. But
they don't even realize they're doing that.
They don't realize they're doing it.
The reason I'm asking you to tell it is because this was me the whole time, and then the sound effects were bugging me, and I was like, I can't do this, and I was like, this.
Oh, you're a great audience.
This is no joke. What scares you in real life? I know you're like all strong and buff.
No. I mean, I was saying before, the thing that used to scare me when I was a kid is I was into everything, but I used to like climb trees that were very high, and I didn't think about how to get down. And so I'd get to the top of the tree and I'd be stuck, and that would scare me.
Oh.
But I'd do it again with the same result.
I would be scared that I would wake up in the morning and everyone in the world would be dead. And I'd be the only person left alive.
Everything scares me, everything. I would sit at my desk at work and then I'll jump and it's my hair. That's the kind of person I am.
I do the same thing.
You do?
I do exactly the same thing.
I feel so much better right now.
Like, I sometimes I think my hair's a bug and I really don't like bugs. So I jump and I like swat at my arm and I'm like, okay, it's just my hair. I feel like supernatural stuff doesn't really scare me. The idea of someone actually breaking into my house is like, that scares me way more.
Please say something scares you. Politicians?
Sometimes, yes. Sort of mental illness or people sort of losing their mind can be scary to me.
Politicians.
You help me? What do you need?
Ojineka Obiekwe, Pix 11 News.
Whew. Whew. So we're going to have Andy Adler here with a little bit of sports. I know you're going to talk about the Yankees,
okay,
but can we just talk about
what do you want to talk about?
I'm psyched about the Mets.
I mean, you don't have that much to be psyched about.
Well, I mean, listen, it was one brief shining moment, but I'll take it.
You know what? You'll take it. I understand. And listen, right now they're under a little bit of pressure to get things done. They're playing for nothing other than pride, but they need that. And, you know, when it comes to the Yankees, it comes down to this. If you're the closer, you have one job. Right. One job, to close out the game. Aroldis Chapman, he isn't doing his job. So Joe Girardi, he said that Chapman no longer going to be used as the closer. And that brings us to tonight. So the Yankees are 5 games behind Boston. They need these games. Check this out right here. So the Yankees, they got off to a great start. Second inning, Tyler Austin crushes one. That's right over the monster. It's a 3-run home run. So the Yankees are up 3-0. Go to the 6th here. Todd Frazier with another good game. The solo blast. Also over the monster. That's his 21st. It's 4-2 Yankees. All right, look at that. Chapman watching from the bullpen. Dylan Betances gets the job done. Yankees go on to win it 4-3 and are now 4 games back.
I feel like I'm gaining experience the more I get out there. Obviously, I'm just filling in for my teammate. I know he's gonna get things right. So I'm just trying to do the best I can to help the team win and put ourselves in a good position.
All right, Kirsten, we'll talk about your Mets now.
Thank you.
Yes, they've lost the last 5 games, so you still happy?
Yeah, I know. That was the tough part.
Curtis Granderson, gone. You still happy? Rene Rivera?
Yes, I know.
Gone.
Tough.
You still happy? You know, the Mets, they need something positive. I don't know if you hear Kirsten laughing.
You're raining
over there.
on my parade here, Ms. Adler.
There's no parade to rain on. Okay, so you saw this game right here on Pix 11. It was Mets taking on the Marlins. Pick things up here in the 6th. Game tied at 1. Michael Conforto grounds one to short. It goes right under the glove of Miguel Rojas. Look at that mistake, Rojas. 2-run score. So Mets are up 3-1. Still in the 6th, Wilmer Flores crushes this pitch. His 15th of the year. 2-run shot. So it's 5-1 Mets. And then it's Kevin Plawecki. He's replacing Rene Rivera on the roster. And you know what? He makes his presence known right here. It's a 2-run blast. The Mets with a 7-run 6th inning. Icing on the cake, 8th inning. Dominic Smith swats his first Citi Field home run. It's a solo shot. Mets beat the Marlins 8-1. Just a Little League World Series here. Holbrook Little League from Jackson, New Jersey, facing Michigan. Top of the 4th. Chris Cartnick killing it today. A solo home run. New Jersey led 7-5. We go here to the 4th, and it's that young man once again, Cartwright. This one's a 3-run blast. Cartnick drove in 6 today. New Jersey beats Michigan 15-5. They advance to the next round and play again on Monday. Okay, a little preseason football. Now, the Jets are playing the Lions, and the question remains, who will have the starting quarterback position? Now, a little competition, always a good thing. Todd Bowles, he decided to play Christian Hackenberg in the first half, Bryce Petty in the second half. I was curious to see how they would do. A little bit of pressure here. Hackenberg struggled, just 2 for 6 for 14 yards. This fumble led to a punt in a great Lions position. Second quarter, Matthew Stafford throws to Marvin Jones. It's a 5-yard touchdown. Lions led 13-0 at the half. Second half, Bryce Petty, he was solid, but you know what? It's all relative. He finds Miles White for the 23-yard catch. That led to a field goal. Petty was 13 for 20 for 150 yards. Lions beat the Jets 16-6. Definitely ready for some football to be back. And believe it or not, basketball is right around the corner. Training camp opens up next month for the Knicks. And Joakim Noah, he wants to prove his worth. We were talking about this. I mean, between his injuries and 20-game drunk suspension, he added nothing to the Knicks and definitely not worth $72 million. He was on a podcast today, and Noah says he's looking forward to bouncing back. Take a listen.
You go through injuries. I lost my confidence this year. I went through a lot, but at the end of the day, it's also about, bouncing back and showing, who I am. And it's through these tough times that you can really show, what you're made of.
No doubt about it. I mean, he is a tough player. That's part of what made his game so great, but we just didn't see that as a Knick. So hopefully Hopefully this season, Kirsten.
I love how you just wrap it all up, but you can you got to stop raining on my parade when I'm so
your
excited.
Mets? You're talking about?
My one Met
There's
win.
no parade to rain on. There's no parade. Your Mets have struggled, my friend.
Yes, they have. To be continued in the break. And don't go away, because after the break, Joe Chaffee has the last look at your forecast.
In celebration of her 45th birthday, get 45% off Maaco's most popular paint service and Meineke's oil change packages. A deal so good, you'll want to celebrate twice.
This Hyundai summer clearance event, we're gonna make it better. No, yes. We're gonna make it better by giving customers what they really want, like amazing deals on a brand new Hyundai. Now that's better. This isn't just an event. This is the Hyundai Summer Clearance Event.
Better is the reason to buy Hyundai.
And that's how we do it.
And here's another reason to buy now. Get the all-wheel drive Santa Fe Sport for $169 a month, or enjoy up to $6,000 in total savings.
Let's reset for the next customer.
Hurry, offers end August 31st.
The school, the neighborhood, the neighbors, the house next door to the neighbors, the RE/MAX agent who checked off every detail she knew the family would love at 107 Meadow. The knowledge to find what's right for you. That's the sign of a RE/MAX agent.
Pamper your feet with this at-home pedicure.
I don't have time for that. My feet get so dry and cracked, I need serious relief. That's why I use O'Keeffe's for Healthy Feet. Guaranteed relief for extremely dry, cracked feet. Thanks to O'Keeffe's, I got my feet back.
On August the 21st, Chiquita will physically move the moon in front of the sun to create an enormous yellow banana. Oh wow, a real banana. So we're really going for it. Just stick that there. That's lovely. Thank you. Don't let its hypnotic movements distract you from my main point. Chiquita is putting a gigantic banana in the sky.
Right here, Dad.
The Infiniti QX60. Impressive performance and seating for 7. Lease the all-wheel drive Infiniti QX60 for $369 a month. Visit your tri-state Infiniti retailer.
In celebration of her 45th birthday, get 45% off Maaco's most popular paint service and Meineke's oil change packages. A deal so good, you'll want to celebrate twice.
Welcome back. Today, some of pro wrestling's brightest stars made a surprise visit to One World Observatory on top of the One World Trade Center for a great cause. Superstars Seth Rollins, AJ Styles, Charlotte Flair, and Dolph Ziggler met with Make-A-Wish kids and their families. Make-A-Wish, as you know, they grant the wishes of children with life-threatening medical conditions. Look at these pictures. Look at those smiles. Tonight's also the NXT TakeOver Brooklyn Part 3 event at the Barclays Center, but I'm so glad that they made time for the kids, too. That's fantastic. There's still more to come. When we come back, we'll take a last look at your 7-day forecast. You can plan out these last weeks of summer.
I'm Ivan Scott. Sunday morning on Pix 11.
Get a low $109 per month lease on the 2017 Sentra or lease Altima, just $169 per month.
Will you take me to the Nissan dealership?
Say It Ain't So Man. Your kid's favorite band is breaking up. Do you remember these guys? They're the robotic musicians at Chuck E. Cheese, and they're being pulled from Midwest locations. CEO says that children's taste in entertainment is, quote, much more sophisticated than it used to be. He predicts that they'll likely be removed at places all across America eventually. No word on the fate of the ball crawl. Hey, Joe Chaffee, what can you tell us about the weather for the upcoming week?
No, we're going to talk about the solar eclipse on Monday. Now, I've been getting all sorts of questions about this, including some where folks are asking me, what week? You're going to like that. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday might be our first real taste of autumn.
Oh, God, Joe, stop it. Stop
you
it.
have to get that pumpkin spice stuff, okay, which I will never drink.
Not yet.
Still summer. I don't want to hear it.
Did you guys get in on the Powerball pool, or did you get your ticket yet? No?
Did we have one in the office?
The burden of money.
Yeah, all right.
Listen,
So,
it's
you
not
know,
my thing.
$500 million are on the line in tonight's drawing. The jackpot has reached $535 million to be precise. There's been no winner since June 10th. That makes this one of the top 10 Powerball jackpots of all time. The odds of winning, estimated
that good?
1 in
Not that good?
292 million. Big deal. Winners would get close to the advertised amount only if you take the payout over time. Otherwise, you have to make do with what? I don't know, an estimated 340 million. Thanks for watching.
Jackie Gleason, The Honeymooners, with the stars Art Carney, Audrey Meadows, and Joyce Randolph.
Join Lisa Mateo and wine and dine your way through the best bars and restaurants in your neighborhood.
I've been known to have a sneaky fork, so you better watch.
Celebrity Tastemaker